Hey everybody, welcome back to Plugged In, Culture, Technology, and Me. So in this second episode, we're diving into one of the most personal and universal parts of digital culture, social media. We all use it, we all have it, and if you don't have any form of social media, good on you. Then you know somebody, you know many people who have it, who use it on the regular. This reflection draws heavily from our weeks 4 and weeks 5 content of this course, where we examined the idea of digital narratives and the growing influence of social platforms. TikTok, Instagram, X, I think is still a thing. I personally don't use it, but it's there. And there's constantly new social media platforms that are rising and coming out that I'm sure are more popular. I am just unfortunately not aware of. And see, as I'm saying this, I get a notification on my computer. So, besides the point. So the growing influence of social media platforms is huge, but it's also shaping how we see ourselves. So let's start this talk with talking about identity. We often hear that people who grew up with technology, so-called digital natives, are naturally good at navigating the online world. But week 4's reading really challenged that assumption. Just because someone knows how to post a story or how to edit a TikTok doesn't mean they understand how those platforms shape their self-worth. So attention span or their relationships. So for me, this brought up questions like, am I showing up online as myself? Or as who I think people want me to be? And who decides what's valuable, cool, or successful in these spaces? And for me, not only do I have my personal social media accounts, but I also have professional social media accounts. I am a part-time photographer. I am an educator. Don't have social media for that. But who is responsible for showing what's successful, knowing what's successful, deciding what's successful, valuable in all of these social media spaces? So digital fluency doesn't equal digital well-being. And one of the biggest shifts in how I think about social media came from reflecting on how much of it is performance. We're not just communicating, we're curating. We choose what we want to share, how to filter it, how to caption it, and then we wait. We wait for likes, we wait for comments, and we wait for validation. And in some ways, it becomes hard to separate our real identity from our digital one. The pressure to maintain a certain image or to be interesting enough, that can be exhausting. And I'm speaking from experience. I want to say like 8 years ago, it was you have X amount of likes on your Instagram post, or it's not worth it. You have X amount of comments, X amount of likes, X amount of followers, or you're really not that liked. And that was so hard as a teenager in high school. Maybe it was more than 8 years ago, but as a teenager in high school, that was like a huge thing. And I remember it so clearly. You nitpicked your posts on Instagram over and over and over again before you even posted it. And then you posted it and it didn't get 100 likes. And it was devastating. And so you deleted it because you didn't get that 100 likes. And it was like, why? Don't you just want to share this picture? I wish I could go back and tell my younger self. But instead, you're exhausting yourself and you're over evaluating everything, because that is how culture has shifted. That is how our society has shifted. That is how social media has shifted to That's what I'm looking for. Has shifted its performance, its communication, and impacting our self-worth. So in week 5's readings, we took this even further. We looked at how influencers, who have just blown up, the word influencers wasn't even a thing until 10 years ago. But they have essentially replaced professional critics in shaping culture. Whether it's what movies we watch, what brands we trust, or what trends we follow. And hey, listen, I'm guilty of following the influencers and searching up on TikTok. Where's the best places to eat in Toronto? Where's the best places to go paddleboarding, et cetera, et cetera. But it's made me realize that social media doesn't just reflect culture, but it actually creates it. So what we post, what we share, and even what we choose to scroll past, it all contributes to shaping collective norms and values. And that's a ton of influence, especially in the hands of people who may not be trained to hold it responsibly. So this made me think more intentionally about my own digital habits. Am I posting because I want to share or because I want to perform? Do I follow people who expand my perspective, or do I follow people just to reinforce what I already believe? I've realized that media literacy isn't just about fact-checking news. It's about recognizing how platforms shape our identity, our confidence, and our sense of self-worth. So moving forward, I want to approach, personally, social media with more awareness and to teach others and to challenge others to do the same. So I'm challenging you. But I also want to help students currently and in the future to understand that who they are isn't defined by their feed, their Instagram feed, their TikTok feed, their whatever feed, and that their digital identity should be something that they control, not something controlled by the algorithm. Because in a curated world, authenticity becomes radical. And that's it for episode 2. And in our final episode, we'll turn to education. And we'll explore how digital tools are changing what school even means in today's world. See you there.